Loveline is meant for an adult audience.
Loveline may contain sexually oriented content.
Listener discretion is advised.
Sexy guys having a threesome.
Things like pornography.
And drinking a lot and hooking up with random guys.
Spiker and Dr. Drew.
Loveline.
Loveline is on now.
Alrighty, welcome to Loveline. I'm Stryker along with Dr. Drew. Phone number is 1-800-LOVE-191. As we recorded our promo before the start of the show, which a lot of radio stations will hear, I mentioned that we have a real star on the show, Dr. Drew.
Truly.
And he's on television 5 nights a week, and he's very, very funny. And I can't believe I'm sitting 2 feet from him because he looks how he does on television. That makes no sense, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, he's sitting, except he's taller.
I can hear you. You know I can hear you. I'm sitting here, I can hear you.
So,
I'm not actually on TV now. I can hear you. I can hear what you're saying. You're freaking me out.
Craig Ferguson, Dr. Drew.
Very nice. I'll let Stryker hang himself out there dry regularly.
It's all right. You've been on my show a lot.
I love your show. Craig Ferguson's the smartest guy on television, period. Period.
And you say it quite often about the monologue he does, Drew.
You do that off the top of your head for the most part. It
comes and it goes. I have guys helping me. I have a team of writers on the show.
I've talked to those guys. They tell me that they give him like 3 beats and then he goes. And there's no one else on television, so to speak. There's no one else on television that can do anything like that. That's crazy. So
it's you have to do it every night so that you can. It's it's like this. It's like radio, except I stand up and wear a suit, much like I'm doing right now. Everybody.
I get without the suit. But I get that. Except at least we get something to play off of. You're standing there. You got an audience to play off, and that's it.
There's no net there, Craig. I mean, there's.
You're freaking me out. I never even thought about this before. Now I'm scared.
It can't work anymore.
I was fine with it until you mentioned. I was just having a good time. I'm going to go tomorrow. I'll be like, oh no, I can't do it.
I can't wait to watch the show tomorrow.
Yeah, knock it off.
It worked.
Yeah.
Well done,
we got him, and that's the show. We just wanted to just jinx him a little bit.
That's awful. Stop it.
What year did you take over for Kilborn? How many years has this been?
3 years now. I've been doing it. Three years I've been doing it.
How many years before people stopped calling you Craig Kilborn?
Actually, there's still one or two. There's still pockets of resistance that have to be ironed out throughout the country. But I know the woman came up to me in San Francisco and said, "Oh, Craig Gilborn, I'm your biggest fan." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you really are. Thanks a lot. You don't even know who I am."
You were on the Drew Carey show before that, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was a working actor on that show.
And what were you doing before that? Because I assume that took up all your time doing a sitcom. That takes a lot of time, right?
Not so much. It's like 3-4 days a week. Sitcom's really easy.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I wrote movies and stuff when I was in my trailer there, and we shot them during the summer. I like the sitcom hours. I kind of hanker for them. And working with Drew Carey was fun because the craft service table and it was awesome. It groaned with a sultan's feast every day. It's true. And we went some great trips and stuff. Now I go to work and I have to, splash out for the occasional, bag of Doritos for everybody, and I'm not crazy about it. But Drew was much more generous and warm-hearted than I am.
Drew Carey show had Craig Ferguson on it. Now Drew Carey hosts this huge Price is Right show, taking over Barker, and Craig Ferguson is hosting his own show 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And you're both kind of doing one's a game show, one's a
there's you know what it is? It's a lot to do, I think, with Les Moonves, who heads up CBS, who coincidentally headed up Warner Brothers at the same time Warner Brothers was making the Drew Carey show for ABC. So Les has a bit of his steely iron hand has got something to do with this.
Smart.
As well, I think.
That's good, though.
Well, you know what? He's a very loyal guy, and and once he's kind of like he's a good guy to be in with at the moment. Anyway, he seems to be very powerful. And also, he's one of these very, very few executives who you can actually talk to. There's not a subtext going on 1,000 different ways, when you're talking to him. So it makes things easy. And I know that Drew likes working in that environment as well. So, I mean, that I think has a lot to do with it.
What are your days like? I'm curious, and I'm sure some listeners are. What goes into doing a talk show every single day? Like, of course, it airs at 12:30 on CBS, but what time, I know you don't tape at that time, of course, but what time do you get into CBS?
I go in about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I talk to the guys, the writers in the room about what I'm going to talk about that night. We talk for about an hour and try and get some structure to what I'm going to do, and then
do you just wake up with a hankering or read the paper, or how do you
No, not really. Some days I go in and I really have nothing. and we sit there for 20, 25 minutes looking at news things and Googling stuff, and eventually we'll come up with, a kangaroo in Australia was born with 3 heads, and something in that will spark a discussion which leads to, a bunch of topics and gags and stuff that we can throw in later on. But there's some very talented guys working that show. I don't do it all myself, and that is a myth. There's a team of guys that really, I couldn't do it without them. I could maybe do it for about 2 or 3 days, and then it would be over. But five a week is impossible without somebody helping you out. So we do that, and then I work on that for an hour, and then I hang out for a few hours, and just kind of sit in a bath full of champagne, drinking, and I don't
hookers
know.
with fans,
all of that,
Yeah.
and then I just walk out and do the show.
That's nice. Well, that's what we do during the breaks here. So if you're comfortable getting in a bathtub with me,
no, I don't know. I don't know. I think you may find that you'll have some kind of Scottish inferiority complex thing going on, especially if the champagne's warm.
Oh, goodness gracious! All right, I'll stay away from the champagne, and I'd be afraid to see what's below the equator.
Yeah, you don't want to be around that thing.
So do you drive around between 10 and midnight Sunday through Thursday, and ever hear your friend good old Dr. Drew and I on the
yes,
radio
I have heard the show many times before, and I've taken some of the advice, and also been. And come on, let's be honest. How many times have people phoned in and you're like, I can't believe you're calling a complete stranger with this. This is horrifying.
I know.
And some of it is like. Some of it actually is frightening, scary, personal stuff, and you think, you need the help of a professional. Yeah. And I know you're a professional, Drew, but Stryker, you're a guy in show business. Come on!
Yeah, it's like more than 3 minutes is going to do anything for you.
Well, but I think, though, at the same time, there is an intimacy about radio that, when you can call in, or when you're like guys like us, shoot. When we're
can I say that word? No, you can't.
All right, we're shooting the breeze.
Shooting the S.
Same things you can't say on TV. You can't say on radio.
All right, I get it. So shooting the breeze that when you get.
Wait, hold on, Drew. Next time you go on the show, will you drop an F-bomb?
That's all right. Hey, that wasn't an F-bomb. Come on.
Craig,
last time I was on, he dropped an F-bomb.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
That.
I occasionally do on the show. Well, sometimes it's the only word that works.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, and then you got to beep it out. So I'm sorry for causing panic and all that.
Look, motherfucker, I'm telling you.
But the whole kind of, what the hell was I talking about? You got me going with
Scotland, the Intimacy Radio.
Oh, the Intimacy, and people going. I think there is something to be said for the people can anonymously call in and get some help.
Young people.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, and young people.
It's also important for the others to sort of hear the little cases. You know what I mean? The listeners can learn from the cases we're commenting on.
Yeah, get some identification from it as well, and it isn't so strange.
A funny thing that we also experience in the show is that not Scottish folk, because actually somebody emailed me yesterday that. A MySpace friend. And by the way...
New Zealand?
No, from Scotland.
Oh, from Scotland.
And we're, by the way, trying to direct everybody to LovelineShow.com. So I'm going to be hanging out
LovelineShow.com, that's where I go.
That's where Craig ends up. You want to meet him there, he's there every night. But there's apparently a show like this in Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
I say that only because whenever English people come on this show, they can't handle it. They can't process the weirdest thing. They just get... They get flipped out. They get insulted that they're being asked to comment on intimate issues.
English men or English women? Because I've always found English women to be very...
primarily the men.
Yeah, because the women are great. I always enjoyed doing it to the women.
In fact, Lily Allen came up here, got right into it. No problem.
The women are very open.
The men are like, what? These are personal problems. How dare you put me in this position?
I know, it's a funny kind of a thing. I noticed that with the women in England, and I'm very grateful that they are like that. And I always enjoyed doing to them what their ancestors did to my country.
All right, let's grab some calls with Craig Ferguson here. 1-800-LOVE-191 is the number. I'm Stryker along with Dr. Drew. You're still board certified, right?
Yeah.
Okay, still okay.
I'm just flashed on something though. I meant to ask you many times, but Mel Gibson's been out there and doing some funky stuff. Did you like Braveheart?
I did like Braveheart. I did.
I really liked it.
It was a really good movie.
I spent some time in Scotland after that and really got connected to the country. So, spent some time at Stirling Castle.
Right, That's right about where I'm from, Stirling Castle.
It's beautiful. Wallace's sword is in this big phallic symbol up on the hill there.
Yeah, that's right,
and we stayed up at the Glen Eagles
Yeah,
The
no, it's a
beautiful
lovely
thing.
place. That's where the rich folks go. That's
There-
where
I was-
the folk out there outside your hotel window grubbing for potatoes. That would be my family.
I was the help. I was speaking to the people that would stay at the Glen Eagles.
We should all move in together in Scotland and film it and put it on the internet.
No. I've done my time.